the hardest part for me about being vulnerable is just whoever I'm talking to. I get more worried that after I'm honest, they'll look at me with blank eyes and not know what to say or how to support me when I really need that person's support. And sometimes there's more comfort in thinking, yeah, they would, or ignoring that feeling as a whole, than having to recognize head on that this person does not know how to be there for you when you really want that person to be in your life or be able to be there for you. I just want to let it out, and I know I can do it in a healthy way, in a therapy-approved way. I've definitely done my time. But I just don't want to put someone, or really myself, in a situation where whoever I'm talking to says, I don't know what to say. I want the security and comfort of old friendships, but I need to make new ones. I lack the energy to do so. I need to. It's not that I don't have wonderful friends, it's just, it's important to make new ones as you grow up. Dating apps are the only place I know how to meet people, and then you just create emotional and physically intimate relationships with sometimes the wrong people. It feels like everybody cycles out when I can't be their boyfriend or lover or therapist, which sucks. But I also put myself in that position to begin with, and I feel like if I didn't put myself in that position to begin with, they might not have stayed, or they wouldn't have been interested. But then I'd have no one, and then I'd have the space for the right people to fill up. I understand being alone romantically and intimately, of course, but not isolating myself off from support. Sometimes it feels like I need to pick up scraps till I've had close to a full meal and can go out again. People are there for me. I just think sometimes I want someone to meet me halfway and do more of what I do for them. And it's not my relationships with everybody. I do have a lot of relationships that are very equal and fair and balanced. But I think there's a really difficult part of growing up ill or having such specific traumas in terms of finding somebody who can really, really, really be there for you. It'd be nice if someone could just fix me. Maybe subconsciously I want that, but truthfully, as nice but implausible as it would be, I don't want that, and I can fix myself. It's my journey, but I'd like a friend to walk with, really walk with along the way. In New York, there were people who could support me deeply for the most part. Just a lot of my time was given to people who couldn't. There was a reason I left, and there's a reason I came back home, and there's likely a reason I'll go back home, to my other home. I want to run to a store and buy a bunch of clothes, but I'm too tired to, and I feel like I'd be rushing out to do something and like rushing to make change. And I don't know if I should counteract depression or let myself rest to counteract my need to always be stimulated. We'll rest tonight and let my body's need to stay and be the focus. My eyes are already drooping. This next part I wish I could read to you, but I can't just yet. I say, I wish I was, and then I finish that sentence, but I can't say it yet. Talk about how I'm grateful for certain things, and that I'm glad that this journal entry has been so formless, and that I'm tired of performing my thoughts in private. It makes sense for art, but that's all I was giving to myself, thoughts for art. Some thoughts need be just for me, as are most of these next paragraphs, which I am leaving out. I talk a lot about sexual trauma and the nuances of sexual trauma and the ways in which I felt like I had to give up my body and experience to be loved, or to keep rejection-sensitive people from being hurt, and how deeply it's hurt me and left me with a lot to heal from, but I'll pick up towards the bottom of my entry. A while ago, I had a nightmare I was being kissed and held down and raped by a faceless monster made of shadow. I woke up screaming. I haven't woken up screaming since I was a child, but I've had a lot of dreams like that since I was 18. I felt so violated, my brain and body felt the need to scream, as if I were just up against the same faceless monster I'd faced in so many physical experiences. I'd have sex just to please them, sex I didn't want to have, just so they didn't feel rejected. Not all of them put me in that position. I thought it was expected of me, and I thought that not always enjoying sex was normal. They didn't always put me in that position, but they also didn't always make sure that I was truly deeply comfortable. And how could they be mindful of something they were never taught to be mindful of? I don't blame them. Communication can be really hard growing up. And I only know how to communicate about those things because of the pains I experienced early on in life. I don't know. I could have communicated more about my pain and things I didn't want to do, but I didn't know how. And maybe they didn't know how to communicate either. I remember in summer 2021, I was hooking up with someone who was more a friend than anything else. And I think they could tell that I was spacing out as I tend to. And they stopped me and they looked at me and they said, "Are you okay?" And I was like, yeah. And they said, "Are you sure?" And I almost cried then. I really wanted to. Just the "are you sure" felt like a lot more than I'd ever been given. It's beautiful, poignant, whatever, but I think it's important to recognize when I wasn't totally okay and they asked me, I still said yeah. So in part, yeah, is it just like a world problem? In part, yeah, is it a me problem? Yeah. And I could write about that forever. I figure I have a lot to write about. Years. I don't know, this is all big and scary stuff, and I still feel like I haven't found my stride in terms of how I talk to you. But thank you for spending time with me, wherever and whoever you are. That's really special to me, and I appreciate it a lot. And this is fun. Weirdly enough. And I'm really grateful to be here. In this bathtub with wet socks. I love you. Thank you for watching.